My name is Ray, and I have no huge occupations other than just living life. I've lived in Olympia for 3 years now, 3 years and change. I had always wanted to live in the Pacific Northwest, and Olympia specifically came about because I found a house-sitting position on couchsurfing.com. I was going to be paying like a discounted rent to stay at these people's house and watch their animals. And I was also going to be helping them organizing their house into a storage pod. And when I arrived, the people that I was staying with were total hoarders. So I had to clear out the room that I was going to stay in and sleep on the floor for the first few nights. And then one of the rooms I ended up cleaning out for them, I found 8 dead rats, and the whole floor was just covered in rat poop. And I ended up moving 3 months in, but it got me to Olympia, and I liked it, and I stayed. I think the biggest thing that Olympia brought me was some of the relationships in my life. One of my closest friends I ended up living with for 3 years, and we just kind of had adventures together. I decided 2 years ago to build a tiny house, and so my parents drove out here for a summer and helped me build it. And so I first heard about tiny houses through my brother probably 6 or 7 years ago. He gets super into things and will tell you everything there is on the subject. And so he told me, and I was listening, that's interesting. And didn't really think I want to build a tiny house. But then I saw the TED Talk by Dee Williams, who lives in Olympia and is kind of one of the big names behind tiny houses. And her talk and just the way she was talking about living in a tiny house and how it affected her life and her ability to do things that she cares about and the community that she had built based on living in a tiny house just made me go yep, that sounds great to me. I talked to my parents, and that's what really finally made it happen, because I would have never started it if my parents weren't involved in the process. So my dad has been retired for 5 years now, and my mom has summers off. And so they had the time to do kind of whatever they wanted to. They built the house that I grew up in, as well as a guest house for my grandmother. And so I knew that they already had the experience, they already knew exactly what to do. Since I live across the country from them, about as far as you can get across the United States, I think that spending 3 or 4 months with their daughter was a pretty appealing concept.